Title: My family left me behind and went on vacation with my money. I never thought I'd be writing something like this, but here we are. I, 28M, have always been the responsible one in my family. I'm the guy who works long hours, budgets carefully, and saves every penny. Meanwhile, my parents, both mid-50s, and my younger sister, 24, have always been a bit more reckless with money. They love spontaneous trips, expensive dinners, and shopping sprees. And I'll be honest, I never really judged them for it. I figured everyone lives their life differently. But last month something happened that I can't get over. For years I've been dreaming of going on a proper vacation. I work in IT, and my job is stressful. I haven't had more than a couple days off at a time in nearly 5 years. I told my family that I was finally planning something big, a trip to Spain. I had been saving up for nearly 3 years, about $7,000. Flights, hotels, excursions, everything. I was so excited I started practicing Spanish on Duolingo months in advance. Here's where things get tricky. Because I was so busy with work, I asked my mom for a small favor, to help me with some of the travel arrangements. I gave her access to my savings account for the purpose of booking the flights and hotel. I made it clear what the money was for. She agreed, saying she'd be happy to help me organize everything. Well, turns out she had other plans. One Friday night after work, I came home and noticed the house was strangely quiet. Normally, my sister's music is blasting, my dad is watching TV, and my mom is clattering in the kitchen. But it was dead silent. After a few minutes of looking around, I realized no one was home. On the kitchen table was a note. It said, "We didn't want to stress you with planning, so we decided to take care of the vacation ourselves. By the time you read this, we'll already be on our way. Don't worry, we'll send you pictures. Love, Mom." I froze. At first, I thought maybe it was some kind of joke. But then I checked my bank account. The entire $7,000 was gone. And when I checked my mom's Facebook, I saw it, photos of her, my dad, and my sister boarding a plane. The caption read, "Family vacation at last. Without me." They literally took my savings, the trip I had dreamed of for years, and used it to go on their own vacation. I was devastated. I tried calling them, but no one answered. I spammed the family group chat asking what the hell was going on, but all I got back was my sister's text, "Chill out, you're overreacting. You can come next time." Next time? With what money? They drained everything. For 2 weeks, they were gone, posting pictures from Barcelona, Madrid, Valencia. Eating at restaurants I had bookmarked. Visiting landmarks I had planned to see. And every single picture had them smiling like it was the best time of their lives. I felt like someone had punched me in the gut every time I saw one. When they finally came back, I confronted them. I asked how they could possibly justify what they did. My mom rolled her eyes and said, "We did it for you. You're always working, always stressed. You needed a break from everything. This way, you didn't have to worry about planning or stress. We took care of it." I told her that SHE took care of it with MY money, and I was supposed to be part of the vacation. That's when my dad jumped in, saying, "You're too serious about these things. It was a family decision. You'll thank us one day." I lost it. I screamed at them that they had stolen from me, that they had betrayed me, and that I would never forgive them. My sister started crying, calling me selfish and saying I should be happy they had such a good time together. Now the house is tense. They act like I'm the bad guy because I'm holding a grudge. But how can I not? They literally robbed me of my dream vacation and left me behind like I didn't matter. I've already changed my bank accounts, closed the joint access, and I'm seriously considering moving out. But part of me is still in shock. How can your own family do this to you? And here's the kicker, last night my mom asked me when I'd start saving again so we can plan something for next summer. I laughed in her face and walked out of the room. I don't think I'll ever see them the same way again. So, a lot has happened since I first posted. Thank you to everyone who messaged me and commented. Honestly, reading strangers telling me that I wasn't crazy really helped me stay grounded. After the confrontation when they returned from Spain, I basically shut down emotionally. I went to work, came home, ate in my room, and avoided them as much as possible. But the tension only grew. My parents and sister acted like I was the one who had to apologize for ruining the mood. My mom even said at dinner one night, "If you're going to keep sulking, maybe you should just move out until you can appreciate family again." That was it. That was the moment I realized they didn't just make a mistake. They genuinely believed they had done nothing wrong. So, I decided to do exactly what she suggested. Move out. The plan. I started looking for apartments right away. I didn't tell them anything. I quietly moved some of my belongings over to my coworker's garage, then started buying things I'd need for my own place, dishes, bedding, even some second-hand furniture. I opened new bank accounts, changed my passwords, and made sure they'd never get access to my money again. Meanwhile, my family kept dropping casual hints about next summer's vacation. My sister wanted Italy, my dad suggested Greece. Every time they brought it up, I felt my blood pressure spike, but I kept quiet. I knew I'd have the last word soon enough. The breaking point. One night, about 3 weeks ago, we had a huge fight. My mom barged into my room and told me to transfer $500 into her account because she needed to pay off part of the credit card from Spain. I told her no. Flat out. She looked at me like I had slapped her. Then she screamed, "You ungrateful brat. We took you in, we raised you, and you can't even help your own family. You're disgusting." My dad joined in, saying I was acting like a stranger in their home and that if I didn't like how things were, I should get out. So I did. Moving out. The very next day, I signed a lease for a small one-bedroom apartment about 30 minutes away. It's nothing fancy, but it's mine. The first night I slept there, surrounded by half-unpacked boxes and silence, I felt freer than I had in years. When my parents noticed I was gone, they called non-stop. At first, it was anger. "You'll regret this. You can't cut off your own family." Then it turned into guilt-tripping. "We just wanted to make memories with your money. Don't you want us to be happy?" And finally, begging, "Please help us out, we're tight on money after the trip." I didn't answer. The only message I sent was short. "You spent my savings and left me behind. I owe you nothing." The fallout. Now my family is in full victim mode. My sister posted on Facebook about how I abandoned them and how sad she is that her big brother cut her off. Some relatives started calling me to ask why I was being so cruel. Once I explained what happened, most of them were shocked, but a few actually defended my parents, saying, "Family is family. Money comes and goes. No. Respect doesn't come and go. Trust doesn't come and go. They stole not just my money but my dream. And they showed me exactly how little I mattered to them. Where I am now. I'm slowly rebuilding my savings. It'll take years to save up what I lost, but at least now I know no one can touch it but me. I've started going out more with friends, exploring hobbies I never had time for. And honestly, for the first time in forever, I feel like I'm living for myself. My parents still call sometimes. I've blocked most of their numbers. Last week, my sister showed up outside my apartment building crying, saying she missed me. I told her I missed the idea of a sister who cared about me too, but the person who went to Spain without me doesn't exist anymore. I closed the door. Do I feel guilty sometimes? Yes. Walking away from family is never easy. But every time I doubt myself, I remember the look on their faces when they came back from Spain, tanned and smiling, holding souvenirs, while I was sitting in an empty house with an empty bank account. They chose themselves. And now, I'm choosing me. It's been about 2 months since I moved out, and things have gotten messy. I thought ignoring them would eventually make them stop, but my family doesn't understand boundaries. If anything, me standing up for myself just made them double down. The apology dinner. About 3 weeks ago, my mom called from a new number. Against my better judgment, I picked up. She said she wanted to clear the air and invited me to a family dinner. At first, I refused, but then she played the "I'm your mother, you can't ignore me forever" card. Against my better instincts, I agreed, but told myself I'd stay cautious. When I got there, it was like stepping into some bizarre theater production. The table was set with my favorite food, candles lit, music playing. My sister hugged me like we hadn't fought at all, my dad clapped me on the back, and my mom acted like everything was fine. But halfway through dinner, the real reason came out. My dad cleared his throat and said, "So, we've been thinking. If you start contributing to the household again, maybe $1,000 a month, it would really help us get back on our feet after Spain. You know, as families should." I nearly laughed in his face. They drained my savings, left me behind, and now wanted me to send them monthly payments. I told them flat out, no. I don't live here anymore. I don't owe you a single cent. The smiles disappeared instantly. My mom slammed her fork down and hissed, "You're ungrateful. We gave you life, and this is how you repay us." My sister joined in, calling me selfish and cold. I got up, walked out, and haven't spoken to them since. The guilt campaign. Of course, they didn't stop there. The next week, my aunt called me crying, saying my mom told the family I had abandoned them in their time of need. My cousin sent me screenshots of my sister posting on Facebook again, this time writing, "Some people forget who raised them once they get money." It's insane. They don't see that I never had money because I saved it carefully, while they blew through everything. And instead of facing consequences, they just decided to make me the villain. The emergency. Last Friday, I got a text from my mom, "Your dad collapsed. He's in the hospital. Please come." For a second, my heart dropped. I almost rushed out the door. But something felt off. I called the hospital directly. Guess what? My dad wasn't there. He was perfectly fine. They faked a medical emergency to lure me back home. That was the last straw. I blocked every single number they had, told my landlord not to let anyone up without permission, and told my workplace security not to let my parents in if they showed up. Where I stand now. At this point, I've realized something painful: my family doesn't love me in the way a family should. They love what I provide. My money, my compliance, my silence. The moment I stopped giving, they turned on me. I've spoken to a lawyer, and while I don't have a strong case for the stolen savings, since I technically gave my mom access, he did help me draft a legal notice making it clear that they are not allowed to contact me for financial support. If they harass me, I'll consider a restraining order. It's sad, but it's also freeing. My family showed me exactly who they are. And I finally believe that choosing myself wasn't cruel, it was survival. I don't know what the future holds. Maybe one day they'll change. Maybe one day they'll realize what they lost. But until then, I'm done playing their ATM, their scapegoat, and their punching bag. For once, I'm living my own life, and I'm not looking back. So this will probably be my last update. A lot has gone down, and I finally feel like I've closed the door on this chapter of my life. The final confrontation. About 2 weeks after I blocked their numbers, my parents actually showed up at my apartment. They must have gotten my address from my sister. I never told them where I moved. They buzzed non-stop until my neighbor finally let them into the building. I opened the door just enough to block the entrance with my body. My dad immediately started in with the guilt trip. Son, you're tearing this family apart. Your mother hasn't slept in weeks. We just need your help until things stabilize. I asked him what help meant. My mom answered. We're behind on the mortgage. Spain wasn't cheap, and the credit cards are maxed out. If you don't step up, we might lose the house. And there it was, the real reason for their visit. Not love. Not reconciliation. Money. Always money. I told them flat out. I already lost everything once because of you. I'm not doing it again. If you lose the house, that's on you. My sister, who had tagged along, burst into tears and yelled that I was ruining the family. I turned to her and said something I'd been holding in for months. The family ruined itself the day you all boarded that plane without me. Then I closed the door. They banged on it for 10 minutes, shouting, begging, cursing. Eventually, they left. The fallout. Word got around fast. Within days, extended relatives were messaging me. Some called me heartless. Others admitted my parents had always been financially reckless and that this was just the natural consequence. A few even told me they admired me for standing my ground. Last weekend, I heard through a cousin that my parents did lose the house. The bank repossessed it after months of missed payments. They've moved into a smaller rental now, and apparently, they're furious that I let it happen. But here's the thing, I don't feel guilty. Not anymore. Moving forward. I'm finally starting to heal. My apartment feels like a sanctuary now, not just an escape. I'm saving again, slowly, carefully. I've even started planning another trip, this time, just for me. I don't know if it'll be Spain or somewhere else, but when I get on that plane, it'll be because I earned it, I paid for it, and I'm going for myself. No one can take that from me again. My parents, my sister, I wish them well, but from a distance. They made their choices. And I've made mine. For the first time in my life, I'm not the family's wallet, not their scapegoat, not their doormat. I'm just, me. And honestly, that feels better than any vacation ever could. The end. Bonus update, my family left me behind and went on vacation with my money. I thought my last update would be the end of it, but life has a funny way of proving you wrong. Just when I thought I had finally cut all ties, my family found one more way to insert themselves into my life, and this time, it got messy in a way I didn't expect. The wedding invitation. About a month after they lost the house, I got an envelope in the mail. It was an invitation, my sister was getting married. At first, I thought it was a mistake. After everything she'd said about me, after all the Facebook posts trashing me, I couldn't believe she actually wanted me there. But then I read the small note inside. Please come. We need you. Mom. I almost threw it away. But curiosity got the better of me. The truth comes out. I showed up to the wedding. Not because I wanted to celebrate, but because I had a sinking feeling something was off. And I was right. From the moment I walked in, my mom acted like nothing had ever happened. She introduced me to guests as her successful son who supports the family. My jaw nearly dropped. Then, during the reception, I found out the ugly truth: they hadn't invited me to reconcile. They had invited me because they wanted me to pay. My sister cornered me and whispered, "The caterer still needs part of the payment. Mom said you'd cover it. You don't want me embarrassed on my big day, do you?" That was it. That was their big reconciliation plan. Not love. Not forgiveness. Just another hand in my wallet. My choice. For the first time in my life, I didn't argue. I didn't fight. I just laughed. Right there, in her wedding dress, my sister stared at me like I'd lost my mind as I said, "You drained my savings for Spain. You lied about Dad being in the hospital. You showed up at my apartment begging for money. And now you invite me here to pay for your wedding. No. Not anymore. I turned around, walked out, and left them standing there. The aftermath. Later, I heard from a friend of a friend who was at the wedding that things fell apart quickly after I left. The caterer refused to serve until the balance was paid, guests started whispering, and eventually, the groom's family had to step in and cover the cost. Apparently, there was a huge fight, and my sister screamed at my parents in front of everyone about how they ruined her big day. I wasn't there to see it. I was already home, sitting on my couch, eating takeout, and feeling peaceful. Where I am now. That was the last straw. I haven't spoken to any of them since the wedding disaster, and I don't plan to. I've blocked them all, deleted them from social media, and told mutual relatives not to pass along any messages. It feels strange, like mourning people who are still alive. But the truth is, the family I thought I had doesn't exist. They never saw me as a son or a brother. I was just a bank account with legs. But now, I'm finally free. Spain can wait. Italy can wait. For now, freedom is the best trip I've ever taken.